In 2025, Liberia stands at a crossroads of history, a nation rising from the ashes of a brutal civil war with a resilience and determination that demands attention, and what began as scattered embers of hope have now flared into a blaze of transformation that's capturing global attention, including right here in the United States, because what's unfolding in Monrovia and beyond isn't just a local story. It's a human story of rebirth, reinvention, and the extraordinary power of ordinary people. Determined to rewrite their nation's narrative, imagine dusty rural roads lined with the rubble of destroyed bridges and broken dreams a decade ago, now alive with construction crews paving highways that connect villages to markets, schools where children once studied by candlelight now gleaming with solar panels and vibrant classrooms, and communities that once feared militia violence now gathering under open-air pavilions to debate policies, launch startups, and envision their futures, sites of transformation that tell a story far richer than bricks and mortar, because at the heart of Liberia's recovery is its youth, whose voices once muffled by conflict now reverberate with purpose, innovation, and hope, standing up in town halls and online forums, asking tough questions about corruption, demanding accountability from public officials, and bringing fresh energy to sectors ranging from agriculture and clean energy to digital entrepreneurship, themselves attracting the gaze of foreign investors who are placing new bets on Liberian rubber, coffee, cassava, and even nascent tech initiatives, because they see a nation not just rebuilding, but reimagining itself as a bridge between leveraging its natural resources and fostering a modern economy. Meanwhile, the Liberian government, operating under renewed legitimacy after peaceful democratic elections, is rolling out ambitious anti-corruption measures, collaborating with international partners and American NGOs to strengthen rule of law and public service delivery, piloting public-private partnerships to improve healthcare access in remote counties still scarred by years without basic infrastructure, and working on community-based reconciliation programs that bring former combatants together with those they once fought, to foster healing through shared labor on rebuilding schools, clinics, and community centers. Projects that don't just rebuild physical spaces, but rebuild social trust in a way that's catching the attention of UN bodies, bilateral donors, and diaspora communities in the US, who are now directing philanthropy and capital aimed at supporting Liberia's next chapter. But the journey is neither simple nor smooth. In parts of Lofa, Sino, Nimba, and other rural regions, poverty remains entrenched, schools still lack textbooks, clinics grapple with understaffing, and the effects of deforestation and climate change are hitting agriculture dependent on seasonal rains, while tensions over land rights and resource sharing persist between communities, meaning that Liberia's reconstruction remains as fragile as it is inspiring, poised on a knife edge where continued progress could signal a new global template for post-conflict recovery, or if momentum falters, risk slipping back toward instability. That tension adds to the drama, and it's precisely why this story is not one to scroll past, because you'll witness on-the-ground voices. A widow in Bong County who, after losing her husband to conflict, now leads a women's cooperative exporting palm oil and championing girls' education. A young tech founder in Monrovia creating a digital platform to connect farmers with buyers in Europe. A former rebel fighter working as a peace ambassador in schools. And an environmentalist pushing to protect Liberia's tropical forests from illegal logging by forging new ecotourism partnerships with international agencies. All individual stories that map onto a bigger narrative of how a country chooses to build itself brick by brick, idea by idea. And if you think this is far removed from the US, it isn't. American universities are launching sister campus programs in Monrovia. US investors are quietly meeting with Liberian founders in Monrovia's business districts. Diaspora Liberians in Houston, Minnesota, and Rhode Island are sending remittances that build houses, fund scholarships, and set up health clinics back home, and US aid agencies are funding sustainable agriculture and women's health projects that deliver impact in both countries, making this a transatlantic story where global partnerships are forging results that matter, and yet the most compelling part isn't the numbers, but the people and the human wins that follow. Students graduating from STEM programs who then teach in their rural hometowns. Microfinance borrowers launching crafts cooperatives on Monrovia's outskirts. Local journalists publishing data-driven reporting on government Spending, a level of press freedom that would have been impossible during the war, now considered essential for accountability, and community-led clean water campaigns that drive down cholera rates in slums, small but powerful signs that the promise of peace is paying off. This is exactly where you should lean in, because Liberia's story isn't over, it's evolving live, with new chapters being written each day. Next month, a landmark trade deal could connect Liberian farmers with US buyers. Next year, a youth-led tech incubator may launch in partnership with Silicon Valley mentors. In 6 months, there could be another nationwide vote where civic participation hits record highs, and that's exactly why this moment matters for you. To witness it is to recognize how global dynamics, individual determination, and cross-border solidarity converge in one African nation rising. And why tuning in now means seeing the world shift before your eyes. So if you're watching and don't feel stirred by the grit, the ambition, the setbacks, and the breakthroughs unfolding in Liberia, then you're missing out on one of the great undiscussed dramas of our time, because this isn't history locked in textbooks, it's history being made today through the everyday courage of Liberians, and through bonds linking Monrovia with Washington, New York, Minneapolis, Freetown, and beyond. In these next few minutes you'll travel from a break of dawn energy in a farming village where cocoa pods gleam in the sunrise, to the bustle of a Monrovia market humming with new consumer goods, to the chambers of national government where lawmakers wrestle with budget reforms, to the communal kitchens of restorative justice events where former enemies break bread together. And in each moment you'll encounter proof that peace is more than the absence of war, it's the presence of justice, of purpose, of opportunity, and that Liberia, despite the odds, is charting a course that challenges us to rethink what recovery can look like. This story asks you to consider your own role. Will you just scroll past, or will you be the kind of viewer who says, I was there when it began, who sees a rising nation not as a developing country tag but as a partner in rebuilding global solidarity, who takes the knowledge, the inspiration, even the connections you might gain from this video, and applies them to your own life, business, activism, or worldview? Because Liberia's resurrection isn't just an African story. It's a human story. And when you miss it, you miss a lesson in resilience, in collaborative possibility, in the belief that even after the darkest times, societies can rise. Sometimes starting with a single concrete bridge or village hall, sometimes starting with a single decision by a young leader, but ultimately carrying potential that reverberates far beyond national borders. And this video isn't just telling you about that potential, it's inviting you to feel it, to question it, to hold on to the possibility that rebuilding after trauma, building across divides, forging partnerships across oceans, and trusting in youth-led growth is the story that the world, especially America, needs right now. Because if you walk away without that sense of connection, without that belief that positive global change is tangible, then you've missed the point. So stay engaged, stay curious, and by the end you'll understand not just why Liberia's renaissance matters in 2025, but why it matters to you, to the global community, and to the story we should all be paying attention to.